My name's Adrian Shergill, and I am the owner, along with my wife, of The Last Queen, which is a gastropub in Enon, Ohio. I've had a passion for food, I think for most of my life. Maybe from a young teenage boy, I've had this sort of desire to want to cook or get in the kitchen. It's only really been a hobby. But in the back of my mind, I always thought if the chance came one day, and I don't think I'm alone. I think there's probably millions of people out there that have this sort of like dream that they may or may not do something one day. Right now we specialise, I suppose, in typical British pub food, which is fish and chips, shepherd's pie, bangers and mash. Every good pub in Britain should at least, if not more than once a week, have a curry. It's just a given now. So we have a curry. I grew up in the south of England. I probably didn't have the most normal sort of childhood. I'm half Indian. There was still quite a lot of racial tension in Britain. So, you know, as a kid, I was obsessed with soccer. I'd be playing soccer with all the kids in the neighbourhood. But it was a bit of a funky time looking back. And then when I went to college, strangely enough, I originally went to do motor vehicle engineering because I hadn't got a clue what I wanted to do, but I wanted to play with cars. But around about 20, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to pan out for the long term. I met my wife here in the States in the mid to late 90s. And ever since then, my wife and I have moved backwards and forwards across the Atlantic. And then just for fun, we thought we'd do the same with our kids. When we had kids, we thought we'd drag them from one side of the Atlantic to the other a couple of times, just to keep life spicy. I hope this doesn't sound arrogant. I'd say whatever space that I've ever been in, I've been probably a natural leader. I don't think it's something that I've gone, I want to lead. I just think it's just been the way that things have turned out. So I think being an entrepreneur and running your own business is the ultimate, okay, who's willing to come with me on this journey, you know? It's like the biggest one of convincing people to come along with you. So I suppose to some degree there's a level of it in my DNA. Our first day, shall I tell you about our first day? So you have to take into context that we've never ever run a pub before, ever. So we'd done our rehearsal with friends and family, I think 2 days before the opening day, and you know that went reasonably well. We tested everything, and you know the clock's ticking. It's 3:30, 3:45. Everything's good to go. Everyone happy. We're going to do this. I think a minute or two before the doors open, our system went down. So all these people come flooding in and our computer system's completely crashed. So it was the worst thing that could have gone wrong, because that's the information that the back of the house need. So we managed to scramble around, and I think maybe 2 hours in or an hour and a half in, the system started again, and then all the tickets came up on our screen, and it was a nightmare because we didn't know what we'd done and what we hadn't done. So the very first day of opening was, if anything could have gone wrong that you wouldn't want to have gone wrong, it went wrong. But we dusted ourselves off and carried on. This is really, really important. If you're going to open a business, and I've said this I've had a couple of people come in here who have talked about opening their own business, and don't do it unless you've contacted the local SBDC. From the people that built our webpage, to the people that clean our taps on our beer. I'm just reeling off a few, like our accountant, our bookkeeper, so on and so forth. All those things that we didn't have a clue about. The SBDC, we had somebody that specifically worked with us, our case manager or whatever you want to call it, the person that was assigned to us. That anything that we didn't know, they would link us up with somebody that knew it. I just cannot say how important they are, because they're not out to make money. They're literally out to help you get your business up and running. So it's just such a safe place to go when you're starting out. It's hard work. Okay, so you've got to be prepared to put in the work. You know, success doesn't happen by. Obviously, there's elements of luck and fortune and those kind of things in anything that you do, but you will not get those elements of luck or fortune if you don't put in the graft. You've got to put in the. So you've got to be willing to be somewhat quite selfish, not all the time, but for a period of time, because you've got to lock in and go, I've got to do this. You know, my wife and I realised that we'd become the most unsociable people on the planet because we're just tired. We're working so many hours every single day, and so fortunately our friends are really understanding. You know, they're like, we get it. You know, so you've got to be prepared to put in a lot of work. You know, someone told me that no one's going to care about your business more than you. Having said that, I think we've got a couple of people that work for us that do. I want to encourage my staff to see their potential, so that they're not going round in a circle, but seeing the potential of this place, but seeing the potential of themselves. To create an atmosphere where people genuinely seem to be embracing what it is that you've done. Not just the people coming in from the door that are purchasing your food, but the people that are working alongside you. That is just a fantastic feeling. I'm Adrian, and I'm an entrepreneur.